Hello.
Hello. Oh, yeah, you already said hello. My name is Owen Brown, and
I'm Steve Brown,
this is the Generational Podcast.
and that's my son.
And we're on podcast number 11. So we're probably going to talk a lot about fighting and your fighting career.
Yeah, a little bit, but first we're going to talk about your generation.
Okay, that's a hot topic.
Yeah, why do you feel that your generation just gives up so easily on everything?
Well,
They just want to quit. Like, oh, I want to quit this, and just like walk off and cry.
because there's so many things to do, but little effort. The little effort is supported by society, and we're very much inclined to get a little bit of dopamine and then leave. Our phones provide a little bit of kind of change into what we do
With pleasure.
of pleasure, because as soon as we finish something right on our phones, finish a reel or just scroll through TikTok or Instagram, we get that little bit of dopamine that's just high enough, and then we go to the next. So whenever we work on a project, it's hard to finish it because there's little dopamine that comes with it compared to doing all the other things you can do on your phone. So that's how my generation fails at what we do.
Because it's hard for me to like, I don't know. There's some things that I can't finish, like right now, the dune buggy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I haven't finished that because I don't have the means to finish it yet. So, I mean, there's things that I don't finish, but I don't quit things that, like, are dear to me right away.
Mm-hmm.
So, I never had I guess we all go through that quitter's mindset, is what it is. It's a bad mindset to have, to be a quitter.
Right.
And, but we've all been in that place where we don't want to continue what we're doing. In that case, you have to find something new that brings you happiness. That just means that you're changing your lifestyle. You might be quitting something bad, which is okay too. But quitting easily on a task should not be. It should be really taboo, and it's not taboo. It's very common.
Right.
So.
And when it's common, you think you can do it as well. And it changes up how you're supposed to move up in society or create and do something new. And it's a little frightening that my generation has accepted defeat.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But I don't think, the thing is I don't think that you're too young to accept defeat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
All
and
right.
that mindset is a piss poor mindset to have as a person or an American. Because then you just let people mow you down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the way to live.
And we've seen it happen to people before.
I've had it happen to me. So,
Ooh.
I mean, you have things happen to you in life that that change you for the better, and sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Bought lessons and paid lessons.
Yeah,
Or free lessons.
Learn free and bought.
Yep.
Free and bought lessons.
So I wanted to talk about fighting, and what did you think about the fight between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou?
That never happened?
That never happened.
I think that, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things. Francis vacated the belt. He said it was about money. He's tried to go to other organizations. They're all saying he's asking too much. It just seems weird that, when Jon Jones says he's coming back, Francis is like, no, I'm out. So it's strange, and it's a perfect time for somebody with a lot of money to come in and try and swoop up fighters. So to make those fights happen, you have all of a sudden Conor McGregor and Chris Chandler, and then you have Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou. These are big fights that everybody wants to happen, and I think that somebody is speaking to them outside of the UFC and getting to them and trying to make that fight happen, which those fights happen, which, you know,
which is just devaluing the UFC organization.
it's a way of devaluing the UFC, but at the same time, the UFC has to find a balance of what they're going to do for fighters and fighters' futures. And that's, you know, that balance is something that only fighters and the UFC can come to an agreement on.
Okay.
And that means that the UFC has to do things that's unprecedented in any organization anywhere else in the world. And they have the power to do that. So you have to just see the writing on the wall of things that are coming, because, you know, there's snakes in the grass. And if anything, we have to take a book out of what's been going on in our own society now for the UFC's business model. We can't get Joe Biden for the UFC. We don't want a Joe Biden in the UFC. Right, so we have to be careful of which snakes out there talking to fighters and trying to get them to sign big money contracts. And also, listen, there was a time back in the day where a certain organization was promising a whole lot of money to fighters, and they all signed contracts, and then that organization went bankrupt and none of those fighters got paid. I'm not going to say any organization specifically, because you can't pinpoint just one, because a lot of it happens. So all I have to do is say to those fighters is look at the history of things like that have already happened. And it doesn't turn out well for the guys that decide to go to the other organizations.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that the UFC can actually put contingencies in right now to keep fighters coming back to the UFC and not getting them to want to run around everywhere else.
Okay.
You know, the UFC is still the creme de la creme for top fighters considered worldwide. And the only way that's going to stay on top is if you evolve the same way that the game evolves. And I'm not going to say any specific way that they need to do it, because
you're not getting paid.
Because y'all don't pay me.
Exactly.
So there are ways to do it, and there are ways and contingency plans to be done. You just have to, you know, you have to be willing to reach across the table.
All right.
And money's going to be spent. That's just the way it is. But
all right,
it will secure the future. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think about this whole? What did you ask me about fighting? Okay, what do you think about this whole China making an artificial sun?
Scientifically, I think that China making an artificial sun on Earth is stupid. And that's because we already have nuclear power plants that need to be built, and they're already built. They just need safety precautions. And we've seen it happen with Chernobyl, and then a new Fukushima Daiichi occurring.
Yeah.
Not new, but old.
Yeah, it's just, I agree with you. There just needs to be contingencies. There needs to be safety regulations on those. But the artificial sun, it's scary to me that China makes all these like wild things, and they're like, we're gonna do this, and you're like, okay, maybe you want to ease off the speed, guys.
There needs to be more testing before you start activating everything.
He didn't catch that, but I'm sure y'all got that. Y'all need to kick back off them drugs, man. You do too much speed, people start talking and doing crazy things. And I mean, that's what I really think. Like, there's got to be some drug problem there or something, because making artificial. What are you smoking, dude? What? Put whatever you're smoking down. We don't need we got the sun already. You're making artificial sun. Why? So we can burn this world up? I don't know. What are you gonna do? Put it in the air? You're gonna launch it? What
Make it more energy?
What happens if it comes back down? Oh, it's not gonna explode. Oh, well, it's just nuclear energy in the air. I mean, like, dude.
We're stepping into boundaries that
it's just ridiculous.
that are new, and we should we should improve on the things that we already have and make sure that whatever we have now is safe and usable without it destroying civilization.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because nuclear power plants have a lot of, personally, I have a lot of doubts about nuclear power plants, especially under earthquakes and natural disasters, because I've seen them fail before in Japan. And it it scares me that we're going into something new, like an artificial sun already, when we haven't perfected the safety of nuclear fission.
I mean, in a way we have, but in a way we haven't had. We can't. We have to be prepared for we have to be prepared for everything, and we weren't prepared for everything, and that's bad.
Especially Mother Nature.
Yeah, but at the same aspect, I don't believe that nuclear energy should be shut down across the world because of it. I think it needs to be safer, and there needs to be better precautions. I also believe that we need to go back to drilling and coal mining in our country.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, you're last in the whole world economy. And everybody's, just let China do it and just let Russia do it. You're going to let communism just take over the world's wealth. This makes, no, I have to say it. Don't you stop me.
I want to say it.
Okay. Fine, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to say that we're always talking about environmental protection, but our enemies, which considerably could be China, Russia, not saying that they are.
They
but
are.
They are.
I'm saying they are. I'm saying they are. They
Okay.
are. They've already done an information war, and they're even YouTube is it's part of who owns YouTube. Well, I'm lucky that I'm able to get this. The only reason why I've gotten so far is because we live in Florida, and if this is shadow banned, that's fine. We're going to get paid by YouTube, so it's cool.
Okay, well,
Thank you, Ron DeSantis.
I know that China and Russia are still using not nuclear power plants. They are using nuclear power plants, but they're also using coal mining and oil drilling. Saudi Arabia is using oil drilling, and they're selling oil to the United States. The United States, on the other hand, has cut back on oil drilling and coal manufacturing.
Which cuts back on jobs.
Which cuts back on jobs and our economy.
Lowers our economy, which puts us further back and behind those other countries who don't give a shoot about and they're the ones pushing it on us. That's the thing that gets me the most is
the UN.
The UN, which is run by China.
Oh, NATO. NATO
it's,
that is run by
no,
China. No, UN.
The UN,
United
head
Nations.
of UN is
Right.
China right now. And unless that's changed recently, which I don't believe it has. But where are we going with this? So
environmental protection.
China is the one, UN is pushing that's saying, oh, we need to lower emissions, this, that. But the head of it is China, and China's the one that's the worst about the whole thing. And they're the ones telling us we got to do it. Like, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. It's like, oh, wait a minute. The only reason you're saying that is to try and get our public to go against that so you guys can move yourself in as number one. This is a tactic that's being done over centuries. The fact is that a lot of people aren't educated enough to understand this tactic. And a lot of people are getting money off of this tactic. So, we need to be more aware of what's going on in our own country.
And
like,
support the jobs that fund our economy
here in America. Support your local businesses. Support your local farmers. Go to your local like chicken place. They sell eggs. Go to your local farmhouse that has eggs. Get you some fresh eggs. Stop buying stuff that's made in another country that isn't made by Americans for Americans, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get ourselves back out of this is if we work together. We can't be depending on other countries to make America better because they don't have America's best interests at heart.
And America has its best interests at heart.
Sometimes no. Not even that, because you have our politicians who are Americans and they say they have their best interests at heart, but really their best interest is in their pocket, not at their heart for us.
And we elect them.
So we are the fools that elect the fools that are being played by international people that are smarter than them.
So we're electing fools that are fools, and we're being fooled by the fools.
Yeah, it isn't. And we're all just fools in the same damn boat because we're all getting played.
And we need to stop it.
I wish we could, but I don't ever see it happening. I told you already that if America was to do a 180 and get rid of everything, like all the bad stuff that happened and everything was to reverse and go back on the right path, and everybody would like the whole people that took the people that conned the people to take things that they weren't supposed to take and lied to them, went to jail and lost everything they owned and all this stuff. I'd wear a dress. I'd wear a dress and be what? I said I'd what? Not be Lady Liberty. I'd say I would be
You said Lady
Justice. Lady
yeah,
Justice.
Lady Justice.
I would dress as the most beautiful man, Lady Justice ever, and do it.
If America did a 180.
But it will never happen.
I want to make that happen.
You just want to see me in a dress. It'll never happen because it's too filthy. There's too many. All the stuff that I know about, there's just no way that we'll ever be able to revert back to it and get back to being America that we are. Because it's just the claws are in too deep, and China's got us, and Russia's got us. We got played, and
Saudi Arabia got us.
We've been played right now, and it's unfortunate, but it's cool.
I wouldn't say it's cool.
It's not my. I'm 40. I'm 42 years old, man. I've learned to not let things bother me any longer because maybe I got 30 years left. Maybe I got 40 years left. Maybe I got a year left.
Me, on the other hand, I want to make sure that when I grow up, I don't have to live paycheck by paycheck. The people that are in my generation, I want to make sure that they don't have to they don't have to live from paycheck to paycheck. And that has to start with changing America and making sure that the citizens understand what's exactly going on in America and making sure that America's values are instilled. And we elect our representatives, so we are the ones at fault for making this country worse.
Well, I try not to make it worse. I tried to make it better with my vote. And, the thing is, you can see what these other actors in our government are doing. And I don't have the power to stop them. And the only thing I want to be able to do for this country is to create jobs. And I want to be able to get money to create jobs. So I want to be able to bring in
money for America.
Microchip factories. I want to bring in, I want to bring in more clothing lines for America. I want more things for us that isn't influenced by other countries or controlled by other countries anymore.
We don't want to buy our tea from Britain.
Like literally, we are a free country, but we are no longer a free country because we are allowing other countries to control us and control our people. So in reality, those other countries, those other entities have us in chains. Have us in chains, like literally in chains. And I was watching this kind of reel, and it said that this lady was from England. By the way, the King Charles III was coronated today, which, by the way, I'm not worried. I don't live under a monarch. I'm a free man. So the thing is, they don't like the fact that I feel that I have the same rights as that king. In this land, I have the same rights as that king. I stand at the same level as him, and he has to abide by the same laws that I do in this land. It's
same thing for sheep.
But they don't like that. That's the thing. They
don't like the Bills of Rights.
They don't like the fact that we are common people and poor people, and they put themselves on higher pedestals. So that's what we're living with. And it happens in society all the time, right? But the best thing about being how I was raised was people like that. When I was raised, you punch those right square in the nose. You let them know you're just as human as I am. You're gonna learn. But we came to a point to where you can't. It's frowned upon to be punching people in the nose. I wish we'd get back to that. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. Don't go out and punch people in the nose. But what
I
I'm
wish our
saying is,
values are back.
in a verbal, not just a verbal, but what I want to say. See, I miss the words myself. See, I do it too.
It's fine.
It's
I like this conversation, so.
it's kind of like it's a like a I don't even know how to say it. It's not a like don't take it verbally, right?
Mhm.
Don't really punch someone in the nose.
Take it
It's
with a grain of
hypothetical.
salt.
It's a hypothetical
Mhm.
punch in the nose. They have to realize that they don't like the fact that we're people too. We are subjects to them. We are subjects to them.
And that's
Wow.
not right.
That's not the way things are.
We're not bureaucratic. Yeah.
You know, the difference is here we know what it's like to be poor.
Mhm.
A lot of us do. And if you don't know what it's like to be poor, I suggest you go somewhere and live poor for a while.
Because it opens your eyes on how we need to stick together.
A lot of things, relationships, friendships. Like it puts things in perspective a lot better.
Like AC, that's a luxury. AC is a luxury.
I love
if
AC.
you don't have AC, oh my goodness, it is a death sentence out here in
It feels,
Florida.
especially in Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but then when you get in the car with me, what happens?
We roll down the windows and
Shut off the AC.
shut off the AC
Yeah.
because
And
we
when we
want to
sweat.
feel.
We sweat,
Mhm.
right? So
It keeps us in check and reminds us that
how privileged we
how
are.
privileged we are.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you'll understand what position you are in and how you're able to help other people get out of
You're going a little too
unprivileged
deep on that one,
situations.
but I mean, I don't know if people are gonna get that from a cold air car ride.
Cold air
Roll the
car
windows. I don't
But
know
it
about all that.
might. Just a
think
little
so?
change might cause a big
I
cost
don't-
to occur.
I don't know. I like. You just have to make. We live in this world where everything is so padded, and it's nice. It's beautiful that we get all this. It's a luxury that we get this.
It's a luxury that we don't have.
I'm putting my knee up, dude. It hurts. I'm sorry.
It's
I don't
fine.
care.
It's a luxury that we don't see people executed in the middle of the street.
Yeah, that's a luxury that we are free to be able to defend ourselves.
Mm-hmm. There's so many luxuries here that I don't want.
We take for granted.
Yeah.
We don't think about. But I love this place, and it's just,
Mm.
I get to meet people in my career, and I get to meet people from all different walks of life, and they have different religions and different political views, and I don't judge anybody
Mhm.
because everybody is the same. And you might get angry that I say that. Yes, in America, everybody's kind of got their individual pink hair, blah, 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 whatever, pussy hats. But when it comes down to it,
Mhm.
we all want to be loved.
Mhm.
We all want to
Have attention.
have attention. We all want to have money.
Be perfect.
We all want to act like we're perfect. We all want
Nice thing.
nice things,
Ugh.
right? And some of us want bad things to happen to bad people, and some people want bad things to happen to good people.
And that's just.
It's
Ow.
and that's just humanity.
Mhm.
And I have a hard time not appreciating everybody's downfalls, even though there's for everybody's downfall there's always something good there,
Mhm.
right? So I have a hard time of just looking at people as bad all the time.
Accepting the fact that people are bad.
Yes, all bad, but then there is evil. So I don't accept that all people are bad, but I do accept that certain people are evil.
Okay.
So I believe that bad people can be good and good people can be bad, but I also believe that evil people, really truly evil people, and I'm glad you haven't really had to experience the real evil in people, and you haven't. I hope you haven't, but there, when you have to see the real evil, it makes you appreciate the good a lot more.
Okay.
All right, so
I have a question for you, since you're very patriotic. What do you think about the Chinese spy balloons that went across America? They weren't at the coast of America, they actually flew across America, and then we found them at the coast.
I think that all the generals, admirals need to be fired. I think Biden needs to be fired. I think they did a poor job protecting the country, and that if there was a stronger leader in check right now, they would make sure none of this was happening, and we'd already be pushing back onto China and Russia at the same time. We wouldn't have all this stuff, because what's going on is basically they've donated America's lifeblood to the rest of the world, is what our leaders have done. They've pretty much said, yeah, come in and take whatever you want, just take it all, and now we're like anemic and about ready to have a heart attack because we've lost so much blood. And we need to eat. We need to get our plasma back. We need to eat. We need a leaders that's going to allow us to eat, and I mean eat. And then we need to go back and be all 100% come back and just no China, UN, we're done. We're taking you guys apart because we created you. That's what needs to happen. UN is finished. There is no more UN. Right? We go over to Putin. We put Putin out. We take Putin out. Putin's done. Putin, you messed up. Okay, the reason is, you were with us for a while, and I thought you was cool, and then you decided you was going to go jump in bed with China. China runs the UN. Well, now y'all are in trouble. If I was the leader, y'all be hurting right now. 100% hurting. You're lucky I'm not. You're lucky there isn't anybody like me up there that's doing it right now, because we'd be dropping payloads.
What we need to do is what I just searched this up, but we need to do what President Theodore Roosevelt said.
Oh yeah.
Which is speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yep.
And make sure that everybody around us understand that we could touch them with that stick.
See, it's no longer like that, because it's no longer speaking softly, because they've made us look soft. Right? We just need to act.
We need to have contingency plans for everyone and everything. And we do have some of them, but they're not being enacted upon. Or acted. They're not being used. There we go.
There you go.
And like you said, our politicians are lazily doing their jobs. Because we wouldn't have spy balloons across our nations. We wouldn't be in an economic collapse.
Listen, there shouldn't be a call to ask if we have to shoot something like that down. It should be shot down immediately.
Right. It's an enemy.
Yep.
On our territory.
The fact that we've had an information war go on, and we've let Obama and Biden and their crew get paid in order to bring in communism to America, these clowns. Right? And then it's very blatant what Joe Biden just did. The thing is, Trump was talking about this back before he got elected, that they were going to try and do this if they elected Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton. So then they couldn't get it with Hillary Clinton because, I don't know, they think female, I guess. So they did it with Joe Biden. And then I was told by a Venezuelan chick during that time that they were going to try and do the whole voting machine thing here during the Trump election.
And not just that,
but
COVID.
Then, well, let me finish.
You're right.
But then she told me that it was going to happen in our future, in our country. And I was like, no, it won't. No way. We'd never do that. And then it's funny that corruption, people will do anything for money.
I agree. Well, if they're corrupt, if they're not patriotic like you.
Everybody's got a. I do even listen. I'm patriotic, but I have. Well, I don't know if I have a price.
You don't have a price for this.
I
nation.
said everybody's had a price, but I don't, for when it comes to my country, man, I don't know. I remember telling this dude. He was asking me. I was dating this chick in Japan. Please don't get angry.
That's fine.
But he was like, what if we were at war, and our ship just got blown up, and that chick that you're dating, and it wasn't your mom, was swimming next to you, what would you do? And I was like, I looked at him, I said, I'd drown that bitch. And he's like, damn. And I was like, dude, they just blow up our fucking ship. What is she doing out in the water with me? If she wasn't with me, I'm drowning that bitch. and he was like, damn. That's just always been my mentality because I'm an American. I love this country. I played in this dirt my whole life. You know, that's something that you know, I lost my first girlfriend because I played in the dirt. I love this country. Right? I love this country. So, you know, shout out Jessica Lange.
You just have to put that
I
up
had
there.
to. I was like 4. I stood her up because I was playing in dirt. I was such a retard. But I mean, you know, I love this country. I love this dirt. So, you know, it's I don't know.
It's something to be proud of. It's
It
good
is.
to be American, but I'm also Japanese. So
Yeah, you have
I
that
have-
pride too.
And when I think about who's against who, I think America and Japan against everybody else. And
Of course.
and
Yeah,
that's because
exactly.
I'm Japanese and American.
Yeah.
So I love both countries, and I wish for both countries to work more because
And
Japan is
prosper.
produces so much, and America has all the materials to
Well,
progress all the production that's going in Japan.
we have an abundance of material here, and that's another thing. That's why China and all these other countries want to come here and buy up our land just so they can get those materials. The thing is, DeSantis sees the writing on the wall. He knows what's going on.
Everybody else needs to know that too.
Well, that's the other thing, is that's why you have all these stations are run by other countries. Like, dude, even YouTube, even this.
It stocks. If it when people
They
own
don't
portions
want
of stock.
information out there. It's an information war, right? And right now, it's the biggest war of our entire lives because they're pushing an agenda, and then everybody else in America starts to believe that agenda. We need to look a little bit deeper into things to see why they're pushing an agenda like this, and then if they're hypocrites or not. Like, the biggest thing about us as Americans is when kids looked at parents and parents were telling kids don't do this, but then the kids saw the parents doing the same things that they were telling the kids that they shouldn't be doing. That's the same thing that these countries are doing to us right now.
Like,
And then they're stealing our stuff out from under us
right.
because we're like, oh yeah, you're right. We need to climate change and we should stop oil drilling. Meanwhile, they're drilling
More
more oil than anybody else
without
ever.
laws.
And they've got our youth going, stop drilling oil. But and then the same news stations that they own are pushing that propaganda out to everybody else's kids.
I'm just gonna say the news station.
No,
Well,
because there's several of them.
there are several.
You can't say just one. They're all there. Even the ones that were new before have been bought out now.
And it's all through stocks and money. It's
There are even YouTubers that are being bought out,
mhm.
right? That's the thing. It's like when they hear stuff like, "Oh, we can't be bought out. We can't be bought out." They know because we
Yep.
care about this country.
And if you do get bought out, use that money for something good in this country.
That's
It's-
right. If you try to buy me out, I'm going to take the money. I'm going to use the money, and I'm going to give you the thumbs up.
Right. Thank you for giving me enough money to start a new company and make 5 more things that are going to grow inside this country and be bigger than you in a few years.
Yes.
It's exactly what you want.
That's what I want. I want to build things. Like I said, we need a microchip industry in America, or we're building microchips.
So
Right.
that's what.
That's one
That's
thing
one
that needs
thing
to be.
that needs to
you
be
keep
done.
telling me, you're like, Dad, you should do venture capitalism.
Yeah,
You should be
definitely.
Dad,
Definitely.
you got to find
You have
somebody that's
so many
really
ideas.
got a lot of money, and you need to just run with them, and you guys
Right.
can make them a lot more money. And I tell him, I laugh.
Why you laugh?
because
There might just use
first
your
of all,
idea,
first of
right?
all, I'd have to trust somebody enough.
Mhm.
that
They have to
has
trust
money,
you enough.
and then they'd have to trust me enough to give me the money
Mhm.
to do it.
But if they're
And
rich,
I don't trust anybody. I've had rich friends call me, "Oh, I'm gonna help you out. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah."
And
Okay.
he's-
I pseudo listen to stuff like that because I'm. Listen, my biological father was the best con artist ever.
Mhm.
Okay, he could sell, and then his brother could sell salt to a slug. Listen, I come from a family that will sell you your own shoes, type of shit. The
Sell
shoes
your
you
own
got-
car.
You gotta sell you shoes on your feet. You ain't even know it. I don't like that.
Mhm.
So when I see things like that, I'm
Oh,
I don't like shit like that. So I have that ability to see these things that are coming. So I turn that shit off when they call me up and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and oh yeah, no, I'll take care of it." It's like, yeah, no, you won't.
Mhm.
And I'll go along with your dumb shit because
You want to
you're-
see something
because
good.
you're a dumb shit,
Oh, okay.
right? That's why I go with it. It's like, okay, yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah, you're gonna do it. Let's see. All right, whatever. And then it never happens. I'm like, okay, I'm not disappointed because I knew you was bullshit in the first place,
Mhm.
right? So for me, like, there's also I want to be able to have. There's factories. We've talked about the factories that
Yeah.
I want here in America.
And how to set
I've
them up.
discussed other factories with them, and the only reason why most people haven't moved is because they're already in bed with China,
Mhm.
right? So once we can separate from that, and we can start things off afresh from whatever billionaire or millionaires that actually want to invest in Americans and American
Elon
companies.
Musk. Hey, that's.
I like Elon a
I
lot.
do like
and he's-
Elon, too.
He's doing wonderful things, but he's got his irons in a whole lot of fires. And
Right.
like, dude, I don't know what to ask of that man. Right? That's
Yeah.
I'm not
We don't know what to ask of him. You're doing
I-
You're doing enough already.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to do these things.
Mhm. I want to
And
take.
I would love to be able to do that because I want to be able to create jobs for Americans. And I want us to be able to sustain everything here. If somebody tries to attack us, we can defend.
Mhm.
If somebody tries to cut our oil supply off, oh, we got enough oil, don't even worry about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If someone tries to come at us for anything, fresh water, fish, anything, we are self-sustained, period, because we geopolitically, this is landmass wise,
Mhm.
are able to do so. It doesn't matter how much stuff these companies or these people try to poison. We have enough land here. We have enough brain power. We have enough people to pull each other together and work things out and to get things done. And I
people
100% in
Mhm.
my heart believe that.
Right. And people just have to be willing to do and work, willing to do the good.
You gotta reach across the table.
Okay, yeah, I'll reach across the table.
You gotta reach
Right.
across the table. Then that's the thing is, we have in our society right now, people are really, really getting put on a pedestal that are the weakest of our society.
Mhm.
We have the weak-minded. They might be strong and tall, but they are weak-minded at heart and weak-minded in values. And these people are being put on pedestals
By Chinese
by these,
companies.
basically, Hollywood is China,
Mhm.
right? It's all of that. The news stations are run by China, right? You can bring up whatever company, but then you see who their main investor is, China. You never want to piss off your main investors
Mm-mm.
because then people lose jobs,
Right.
right? So a lot of these things are going to happen. A lot of changes are going to happen, and I welcome a lot of the changes. We're going to have job loss here because a lot of these companies, a lot of these Chinese companies are going to pull out.
Mhm.
They need to pull out. We need to get rid of them. We need to kick them out, right? We need to keep any foreign company that has any type of power in our country is no longer allowed in our country.
Mhm.
And we need to have Americans that are building and stepping up to the plate and knocking out homers all day long. Bing, 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 working together as a team, winning championships
Right.
year after year after year again.
And I'll have to start doing all my company stuff that I already talked about and am supposed to do this summer. So I want to be able to make multiple businesses that will help this country out and are self-sustaining each other.
Yeah, we've talked about that too.
Mhm.
So we're not going to give you guys all the details, but
No.
there's lots of the thing is there's hope,
Mhm.
and there are people in our country like myself and like Owen, and there's people. I mean, in Kansas, I know tons of people. They have aspirations and they have wonderful ideas, and they just need
Money.
people with money that can believe in them, that's going to trust them to move forward.
Mhm.
And we
Venture
have to work
capitalists.
together. You said venture capitalist. You love that word.
I love it so much.
I don't know anything about it. I just know that anything that I've ever had, I've had to do myself.
Right.
And now I'm willing to work with someone else, anyone else, in order to make things better for the whole community,
Mhm.
right? And in order to do that, I know it'll lift me. So, like Kennedy said, what is it? The rising tide lifts all ships.
Mhm.
So that's something that I really truly believe in. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that are worried about their money so much
Mhm.
that, listen, you can sit on a pile of money until you die. As soon as you die, everybody's taking that money from you. Or
The government's gonna take it from
no,
you.
all your family members are going to take it from you.
Mhm.
Or you can use that money to push to other people and their ideas in order to push this country further, and then make even better families and more families.
They have
happy
the same
families.
values.
Yeah, good values. And the thing is, you can have company values, so you can teach company values. Japan did that
Mhm.
quite a bit. Like, we used to wake up in the morning and we'd have to do stretches in the morning. And this was a construction company. There was like 60 of us, dude. Guys ranging from 18 to like 70 out there doing their freaking morning exercises all
the
together.
morning exercise,
Right?
the
Yeah,
hips in and out.
yeah, everything. And then you take 15 minutes of that, you joke around, you then go to work. It's a
Lifts up.
it's a
Oh,
culture,
goodness.
right? So then you learn that those guys start teaching those guys how to be, and then it's, so culture can be cultivated in any atmosphere,
Mhm.
but the one that it needs to start happening more is at home, and we need to start trusting the right people for business.
Mhm.
I have the degree.
You
I've
have
had,
the degree.
I've had the businesses. I've done professional fighting. I've had a business in Japan. I have a business now. Right now, my business is,
Well, you don't have to speak about
no,
it.
I can talk about it. It's
I
okay.
don't want you to.
I'm gonna talk. I don't care what you want.
Because I want to hear about.
No, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my business.
All
So
right,
my
I'll
business
let you.
is
I'll
that
let you. Not mine.
I'm an inspector.
All right.
So I go in and inspect homes, and I write up things and for those homes, and I get paid if I travel, and I go everywhere,
Mhm.
and I meet people all over the place,
Okay.
and I love my career. I love my company. I work directly with insurance companies, right? I love what I do.
Mhm.
But I know that I can give more. I
know
do
you can
more.
do more.
I can
Yeah.
do more. So I feel like within what I'm doing right now, I'm limiting myself and my capabilities, and I think that I can help produce more for this country.
And for me personally, coming back to our first.
Circling back?
Circling back.
Circling back,
to
old
what we
Biden
talked about first.
Old circle back.
This box limits us on what we could do.
Beating dead horses.
Yeah. Limits us because the same dopamine that we get from creating something is given by this phone really quickly by watching someone else create their own material. Now, when you watch someone else create something that you want to create, your aspirations for creating what you were going to create is lost.
Did you feel that way today?
Yeah, I did feel that way because I dislike watching other people's podcasts. I dislike watching other people's things because I want to be able to do them. I want to be that successful. I want to do what they're doing right now, and they're doing it right in front of me, and I'm watching it and feeding into it and giving them the view. Now, that gets me mad because I really want to do those things. I want to be successful
So you
So-
really want this podcast to go somewhere,
Mhm.
and like I laugh because for me, I don't care where it goes. And you're like, you told me the other day, Dad, it's gonna be bigger than I want it to be bigger than Andrew Tate, and I started laughing. I was like, man, I don't want it to be big as Andrew Tate. Put his ass in jail, bro. I ain't trying to live that life, dude. I kept thinking, I'm like, man, this kid's gonna have me in jail.
Hey,
Shit.
we're not in Romania, okay? We're
Yeah,
not
well-
in Romania.
Well, the thing is like, I giggle because you want us to, and
I
to
want
me,
us to succeed.
to me,
So much.
to me, I feel that there is just, it's, people don't do well with honesty.
Mhm.
And when you have companies like YouTube and you have companies that have an agenda,
Facebook.
they will not make us popular. And I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but it won't happen. I won't.
I will make it happen. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm telling you, dude, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, but we keep doing it because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
for us.
I want it to keep
But
on going.
it's never gonna. I really don't.
Hmm.
No,
You guys have to make it
They
happen.
won't either,
You gotta
because-
make sure that.
because people will watch, but then they'll be afraid because they're afraid of repercussions of what somebody else might say.
It's the internet. You're whoever you want to be. You don't. Oh my goodness.
So it's kind of like, okay, so like a lot of people don't know that I dropped out of high school.
Mhm.
Right? I dropped out of high school. I dropped out of high school because I got into a fight with a teacher.
Mhm.
I didn't even fight back. He pushed me up against the wall and he stuck his fist in my nose or something, or in my face. I pushed him back and ran. And then, for a while there, I went to a couple of programs, and I went and got a GED, and then I went and did a college advanced program at Kansas City Community College to get into the military.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna pass all that stuff with these. And I never really had a problem with learning anything. I had a problem with sitting still after I learned it.
Mhm.
And then my biggest issue was that I had people that would like try to discredit me. Oh yeah, you didn't finish high school. Well, yeah, maybe I didn't, but I did do a whole lot of other things and I accomplished a whole lot of things in my life. And just because I didn't finish high school doesn't mean I wasn't smart.
Mhm.
And doesn't mean that what I say now doesn't hold merit. That's pretty stupid to go at somebody that way. And the fact that I knew people like this kind of fucking disgusted me.
Okay.
And after that, I realized that those people are stupid, and they'll only be at that level for the rest of their lives.
Mhm.
Picking their nose and drinking Bud Light and smoking Marlboro Lights or whatever. And so you're gonna lose the rest of your hair, and you're gonna get fat and probably get cancer. So eat shit and die. And that's how I felt at heart. And I had to learn that you never can judge a book by its cover. I also went to college and graduated college. I've got a degree there. That doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. It says that it says I have a degree that says I can talk to people, that says I can communicate, right?
Mhm.
I still hate communicating with people. I still don't want to talk to people. I still dislike having to pick up a phone and have to deal with somebody that's obviously ill-informed or ignorant on a subject,
Mhm.
and then have to dance my way around their questioning, or I have to have somebody that thinks that they're smarter than me ask me questions and then try and do this like word puzzle stuff. And I'm like, dude, first of all, you're out of your depth.
Mhm.
I've already had this conversation in my head. I've already seen the rerun. I don't want to see the rerun. I'm good, right? This is ridiculous, and I won't even justify it for a reaction. I'll just be like, oh, okay, carry on.
Well, my favorite quote comes from Mark Twain, and he says, "Don't argue with stupid people, because stupid people will bring you down to their level and beat you with experience."
Yeah, that's true, but what's even more difficult is having to deal with stupid people that believe that they're smart.
Mm.
That's like, I don't even have patience for you. Like, you're not even, you've never been on the same field, we haven't even been playing the same games. And that's why I've never been
That's
able
being
to really,
ignorant.
I've never been able really to connect with anybody like that. I've met people that are super nice, and they've had positions of authority and they're just idiots. They're super nice people. They're super don't get me wrong, they're super nice, but they're just not, they're not smart. And I don't know why they're not smart. And I'm not I don't think of myself as a complete nerd, but maybe I'm a nerd. Maybe I am a nerd. Right? But I just can't, I don't know. I just can't deal with stupidity very well. And especially stupidity in power. That's just,
I would say the kind of stupidity that you're talking about is stupidity when it comes to acknowledgement of your own fault.
of my own faults.
Yeah, of their own faults.
Their own faults.
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
I was like, I pretty much acknowledge
no,
my
you
faults,
acknowledge
don't I?
all your faults.
I'm a
If you're
jackwagon
wrong, you'll
sometimes.
ask a question. If there's something bad that's going on in society, you'll speak your mind. And if you think that you don't know anything, you'll ask questions.
Yeah, I find the reason why I have patience is because I find a lot of things interesting. I don't try to be like, oh, it's interesting to me that people are the way that they are, and I want to kind of know and kind of learn how they are the way that they are and why they are the way that they are sometimes.
Oh, your communication. Oh.
But I don't like to talk to them.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make
It's
sense.
weird. I'm a weird person in the sense that I hyper focus on things, and I love to see things happening, and I like talking to people one-on-one. I can deal with one-on-one. When it comes to big crowds and big groups, I get really, really uncomfortable.
Then I have something to talk about. I think that it's different when you talk to somebody in real life compared to on the internet, because they're accountable for what they say. And what I mean by what they say is...
No, let me do a demonstration.
Like, if I say you're stupid, you're going to tell me, oh. Right. That doesn't happen on the internet. If you call someone they're stupid, they can't tap you. But yeah, that's exactly it. You're not accounted for what you do.
You're not accountable. You don't get held accountable.
And
for
if
your
that happens to you, you have to take it with a grain of salt. And
yeah, you're
and
right.
society needs that more. Ever since the coronavirus, we've been separated for way too long.
So society needs a slap in the face sometimes.
Right. When you're talking to someone one-on-one, face-to-face,
Don't slap them.
don't slap them, but
you understand what the point is.
you know that there's a will on the other side. You know that there's a person on the other side. You don't just see it as like an account or a blip or a comment that you can just ignore.
That person can get physical real quick. So you're
Right.
kind of easy about your words, but then you get that tough guy talk on that internet. It happens.
I saw what they said to Andrew Tate and other fighters like Conor McGregor. So I'm like, you wouldn't say that to him if you were face to face with them. So
hold on now. Now I think Mike Tyson.
Wait.
No. Mike Tyson. Some dude started to pop off at Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson got up and whooped the shit out of that dude. Now listen to me. Those of us that have the money and the time to go ahead and put hands on you will. You don't know who has the money and the time is what happens. So do your research if you finna talk smack to somebody that can put you on your back. Because some people don't have families at home and will put hands on you and will spend that night in jail with a smile on their face and a story, and they'll pay for the story. So it's just like, it's kind of like, are you willing to pay for it? Are you willing to pay for the
like, if you say a stupid
for the
comment,
story?
Yeah. If you say a comment online, it's not the same as talking to people in real life, and that's the truth. It's the truth. Well, it's.
You got somebody talk smack to you online?
No, not at all. I
No?
wish, because I like to see them face to face, but no.
No, you don't
not
want
at all.
that, because it's just. Listen,
When
first thing you need to realize before we start off on this, and if it ever does get big,
people are gonna criticize us.
They're gonna
So
say
much.
many things. And the thing is you have to take. I wouldn't even read it, so don't even take that song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just
Flip
ignore
across
it.
the room.
Yeah.
Right. So now I like constructive criticism. So if somebody tells me, "Hey, Steve, try this. Hey, Steve, do this. Hey, Steve, do this."
We should talk
No
sometime.
problem.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's handle it. Let's get it done. But I won't listen to someone as they start spewing that negative shit.
Because
I'm negative enough.
you don't need that in life.
I'm
if
negative
someone's
enough.
spilling negative stuff at you,
I'm a negative Nancy enough.
flick it off and go on with your life.
Huh, Susie Q? I'm a negative Nancy enough. I'm negative. She got her hands up. She's like, "Who's Nancy? Who's Nancy? Daddy, I'm Susie." So, yeah, I'm negative enough, so I don't need more negativity in my life. And
Now it's your turn to ask me something.
about what? I thought
Anything.
I thought we already had. Okay, when was your first kiss?
Oh, my first kiss was in kindergarten. I won a game of rock, paper, scissors, and I got a kiss from Lennon.
That was cool.
Yeah. So what was yours?
I think it was a girl across the street. There was a lot of first kisses, I guess.
Oh, Dad.
I don't know, man. If I told you this, you'll hear it on a skit one day.
One day.
About my experiences with ladies. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Abusive
Good thing I don't have them.
bitches.
I just. I just heard you say that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of them all had Jesus fetishes or something.
Oh.
You should probably cut that out.
Yeah. That's a funny joke because you look like.
So yeah.
Let me say something. You.
Don't use my material, fuckers.
You're very funny, and I like to see you do your comedy. And this should be an extension of your comedy to make sure that people listen to your comedy.
Well, I did do stand up a couple nights ago, and it went kind of decent. I had, there was probably like 5 people in the crowd.
You got claps though.
Yeah, I got some claps.
You
and
weren't-
then it got actually there were 8 people in the crowd, and then 3 people left because they were snowflakes.
That's fine.
They really didn't like it when I started talking about how I had 2 ex-wives. Susie, please don't do that now, baby. Sit down. It's okay.
We're
My-
good.
My dog's getting excited, and she's starting to grab she's gonna start tossing the horn around the house.
Yeah.
And she does this when she wants attention, and she's getting tired of not getting attention. So
Right.
she goes wild. She has these little fits where she's like throwing her toy around the room and stuff. I think one day she's gonna toss it and hit my TV, and then I'm just gonna be devastated. But I've already prepared myself for that to happen.
We
So
love
if it
her way
does,
too
yeah, so if it does, I'm good with it. It's already happened in my heart, so I don't care.
She's just too lovable to let go. She's smiling right now.
Yeah,
Huh.
she's waiting. She's like, all right, guys.
All
She
right.
knows she's got. I gotta get her a bath today.
She's our timer. She's our timer now.
Yeah.
So
she
that
must be-
was.
how much time have we had so far? Yeah, we've probably had enough for this one.
All right.
Listen, we're gonna try and keep them around 37 minutes,
40 minutes.
40 minutes, something like that.
So-
we had 10. That was a long one because it was our 10th episode. We'll probably do another long one on 50, and then another long one on 100.
Right.
Because we're gonna keep on going, and
Keep on producing, so more people will come and watch our stuff.
maybe it'll get better if you guys might help us out a little bit, but who knows?
Hey, we'll get better on our own.
Yeah.
This one.
Hey,
Now that was Generational Podcast episode number 11, and have a wonderful day. And this was Owen Brown and
his dad.